Hi there and welcome to today's Click Law. We are discussing dagga law in South Africa, which is a very hot topic. So if you're not sure whether you know the latest, then please tune in. First of all, most of you know about the 2018 Concord decision, where the Constitutional Court said that if you produce or have or use dagga at home privately in a private space and for personal reasons, then what you're doing will be legal. If that is the latest you know, then I have an update for you. It specifically focuses on CBD oil. There are two compounds in dagga that we're going to be focusing on. The first is THC and the second, as I mentioned, is CBD. Now, these are abbreviations for incredibly difficult and long words, which I'm going to pronounce just for the record. Tetrahydrocannabinol is THC and cannabidiol is CBD. Please don't ask me to do that ever again, but if you can, then I think you have a nice party trick up your sleeve. Okay, so back to the details. THC makes you high and CBD does not. Why is that? Your endocannabinoid receptors are part of your central nervous system and they control some physiological and cognitive processes such as how you experience pain, how you reason about things, your appetite, etc. Now, these receptors, endocannabinoids, are directly affixed to THC. In other words, THC directly affects them, whereas CBD does not, and that is why THC makes you high, CBD doesn't. In May this year, CBD was removed from the list of no-go substances in South Africa. Now, that list is part of the Medicines and Related Substances Act, and the list categorizes certain compounds into schedules. For example, Schedule 4 substances, you need a script for that. You can only buy them from a pharmacy. Schedule 7 is highly illegal, such as heroin. So that's the list that I'm referring to. And in May this year, our Minister of Health removed CBD from this prohibited list by means of a government gazette notice. That just means that it's very official and it's legit. So if CBD has been removed from the list, what does that mean? That means that you can now buy and sell it. Doing so is no longer illegal. Now, CBD is only one ingredient of the dagga plant, so please note that this does not mean all dagga products are legal. THC especially, you can still not trade in. If you are able to extract CBD from cannabis, then great stuff. You can sell the CBD extract as long as it does not contain any of the other products, the other products of cannabis that are illegal. There's a limitation to the amount of CBD that you can have in your possession. Basically, if you divide the stock you have for the amounts of days that you're going to be using it, your maximum daily dose must be no more than 20 milligram CBD per day. How will this be enforced? That's a very good question. We know that South African law of evidence is pretty strict, and if you want to prove that your product contains only CBD and no THC, you will have to be able to prove that scientifically in court. On that note, very important, if you buy CBD oil from someone, be sure that they can prove that their product only contains CBD. They must give you some sort of guarantee. I'd say it's really wise to ask for that because especially with your home brewers who do this all in their kitchen, it's very easy for THC to end up in your CBD oil. Even if it's only traces of it, then it will render the dealing in it illegal because you're not allowed to have any THC in your product. So just be wary, especially with people who do this type of thing at home. So if you are able to extract only CBD and to package and sell it, then please note you cannot advertise your product as a cure for any disorder or disease, but you can state that it assists with certain general symptoms not associated exclusively with a certain disease or disorder. The minister also made another rule, which is if you want to sell a product made from raw cannabis plant material, then it may contain no more cannabinoids than the source product does in nature. So what is raw cannabis? Basically, it is the plant and it has not yet been heated. Because fun fact, the THC, for example, is only released once the plant is heated. More specifically, the raw plant material may not have more than 0.001% of THC and more than 0.0075% of CBD. Again, I'm wondering about the regulation and its implementation, especially evidence-wise, because this part of the law deals with the dry product, but the prohibited substances, according to my understanding, are the result of heating the product, which makes it no longer the dry product. However, I believe that this and many other questions will be clarified over time. Speaking of time, the gazetted notice that we have now discussed, which makes the buying and selling of CBD by anyone to anyone legal as long as what you're selling is only CBD, that will expire. So that rule will expire in May next year, and from then on forward, CBD will be a Schedule 4 medicine, which means you can only obtain it from a pharmacist and if you have a script. So I hope that answered your questions and maybe you learned something new, and we'll chat again on our next Click Law.